Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from and who do well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000, the rest of the elect. Unto you I say shalom. Coming to you back with another lesson through the Spirit. Now I'm entitled this one, This Kingdom is at its end. This kingdom known as America, Babylon the Great, aka the hammer of the earth in the scriptures, the mother of all harlots, the place that has imposed as democracy, as currency, its way of life, the LGBT agenda, the alphabet agenda, along with these other ideologies, feminism and everything that's completely contrary to scriptures, America has done. And now it's trying to gain some leverage by taking Venezuela, taking its resources. And now with the whole Iran situation, the whole world is starting to find out that the problem of the earth is ultimately America, Babylon the Great, and the one that's ruling this current kingdom, which is no other than the self-proclaimed white man, Esau, Edom. The world is starting to find out that this devil has to get taken out of power, because if you was to let him continue ruling, and he would just destroy everything. Like in the movie Terminator, you would just let AI just take over and just destroy everything. And that's what would happen if you was continue to let this devil rule, like it says in Matthew. No flesh will be saved. That's why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is speeding up the days, and he's showing signs in the sky, signs in the heavens, because you had a blood moon today in the morning, and really they've been happening for the past couple of years at a record rate. Lunar eclipses, chariots, and Esau Edom is seeing these signs and ultimately is pointing out towards the end of this kingdom, and that's what's happening. All these signs in the heavens, they're not a coincidence. It's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai letting the world know, and really letting his elect know, his remnant, the 1/3, the 144,000, and the innumerable number that is almost time to get the hell up out of here. The elect are going to get delivered out of this upcoming destruction. And the heathens also see these signs as well, but they're, on the other hand, they're getting scared because they know that they're at the end of the rope, that is no longer going to be extended for them to continue ruling upon the planet Earth, that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is about to bring them down. This is Joel chapter 2 and verse 30. And I will shew wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. Verse 31, the sun shall be turned into darkness. And that happened 2 years ago, 2024, April, when that total solar eclipse happened. And then before that, 7 years before that, you had another eclipse that ultimately formed the last Hebrew alphabet letter, the Ta, forming that X over America. But majority of these people, they're dismayed at these signs. They look at it like it's no big deal. Oh, just another solar eclipse. It's no coincidence. It don't mean nothing. It says, and the moon into blood, and that's what happened this morning. And it happened in March, when March is really the first month of the year. Is when spring starts, is when people start, making moves. And that's what Esau Edom is doing. He's making all these moves. He's attacking Iran because he knows that he has a short time. So he has to crash this current system, this US dollar system, this fiat currency, because he's doing all this to collapse this economy so he could bring in that new digital currency, that CBDC, which is going to be the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip that he's going to impose on the planet Earth to bring a sense of normal back again upon the planet Earth, just like he did 6 years ago with the C-19, the 2020 ordeal. What did he do? He offered a form of normalcy back if you took that jump shot, or if you take this jump shot, if you take this, if you wear this mask, then you're going to be able to participate in society. You'll be able to keep your job. You'll be able to go grocery shopping. And that was just all a precursor to what's about to happen now. But now it ain't going to be no longer an option. There's going to be loopholes. No, Esau Edom is going to make it impossible to live without that RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. It says, verse 31 again, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and the terrible day of the Lord Yahweh Bashimel shall come. And then the Lord is making the world known that he's about to send Yahweh Shai, who everybody ignorantly calls Christ, back in this lifetime, this generation, like it says, in this wicked and adulterous generation. This is that generation where Yahweh Shai is going to make his second coming. When he's going to crack the sky, he's going to crack the clouds. Everybody's going to see that massive so-called UFO, the chariot of Yahweh Bashimel Shai, and they're going to get scared because majority of the world, they're not paying attention to these signs. They look at it like it's no big deal. But it's signaling the downfall of this system, this economy. This is Psalms chapter 104 and verse 19. It says, he appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth his going down. That's ultimately who set the signs in the heavens, the different satellites, the moon, the stars, the sun, so they could be a sign of the current season that we're in and the current season that's about to come up, which ultimately we're in the season now of this current kingdom going down. And like it says, Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it to follow it. That's what's happening. The moon is also signaling that the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be ran by the nation of Israel, which is only meant for the nation of Israel, not no other heathen nations. It's almost near as well, but majority of the world is in gross darkness. They see these signs, or they don't even pay attention to them, because to them it means nothing. They're worried about this current world. They're worried about the bread and circus. How can I get this bag? How can I plan my next vacation when all hell's breaking loose? But yet these people are still moving like Yahweh Bashimel Shai is not showing all these signs in the heavens. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. And right now we're in the season of this system, this current kingdom collapsing. It's on its way out, and it's not going to be ill, like it says in Jeremiah chapter 51. Because a lot of people, they see the war, they think it's just another Iraq war. It's going to, just blow over. It's going to die down like all the past wars. No, this is the war to end all wars. But majority of people, they're lost in the sauce. They don't know what the hell's going on. Verse 4, I'm going to jump down to verse 4. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. And right now, people are still in that spirit of mirth, but really they're forcing it. They're trying to block away all the noise from the world when ultimately it's impossible. It's everywhere now. The whole steam files is everywhere. The whole Iran versus Israel, U.S. versus Iran. That's everywhere. You really can't get away with it, away from it. Then you have the whole cartel down in Mexico. But yeah, people are still trying to silence the noise by being in a house of mirth. But Yahweh Bashimel Shai is about to shut everything down. And all these coping mechanisms that these people use, prescription meds, antidepressants, weed, alcohol, McDonald's, fast food, that's all about to be taken away. And these people are going to go from laughing and dancing to mourning and at the blink of an eye. Verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Right now, we're not in a time of peace. We're not in a time of love. Everybody's love is waxing cold, like it says in Matthew. And that's what's happening. People are growing more they're growing in discomfort. They're not stable because they don't know what the future holds, like it says in that Ecclesiastes chapter 12. People aren't looking at the future with optimism. They're looking at it like, damn, it looks grim, it don't look good, and they're right. A lot of people who are crackling and laughing and acting like all those missiles and bombs being dropped over there in the Middle East aren't gonna come to pass over here in America. They're sadly mistaken, because these people have been accustomed to just chilling and nothing happening in American soil. But that's all about to change very soon, especially with Esau Edom talking about the sleeper agents, splinter cells. All these sleeper agents and splinter cells, they're about to make their move over here in Babylon the Great. That's gonna justify Esau Edom shutting this thing down. He's gonna put that, everybody has to have a digital ID so everybody can be identified because of the T word. This is 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highs will begin the world. Begin to visit the world which he made. And that's what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is doing by showing all these signs in the heavens. He's showing the majority of the world that haven't been given the Holy Spirit to see the signs in the heaven and tie it to biblical prophecy. Like, okay, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is showing all these signs in the sky, all these chariots. He's showing Esau Edom just getting more tacky because it's signaling the downfall of this kingdom. But only the remnant, the elect of the nation of Israel, the 144,000 in the numeral number, only they're going to be in the known and be like, okay, this is what that means, and this is what that doesn't mean, but majority of the world right now, they're lost in the sauce. They don't know what the hell's going on because they haven't been given the Holy Spirit of understanding to tie into what's going around the world to biblical prophecy. So only the elect are going to be measuring the times diligently and be preparing themselves and getting right with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, while the rest of the world, they're going to continue just wiggling around, eating sandwiches, and bugging the hell out, crashing out because the economy's collapsing. Verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Verse 4, then shalt thou will understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the very beginning. So all these prophecies that are playing out in real time, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua already wrote it before the earth was even formed. Verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Verse 6, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and wonder and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. And Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is making it clear that America's through it. It's done. It's not going to be healed. Along with Esau, Edomite kingdom, it's going down, and it's going down quickly. And the only ones who are rejoicing at all these signs in the heavens of what's going over there in Iran and Israel and the U.S. is going to be the remnant, the elect of the nation of Israel, starting with the prophets, the 144,000, and the believers, the innumerable number, the helps, the friends of the prophets. Those are the only ones rejoicing that this is happening, while the rest of the world is bugging out, losing their minds, because ultimately, like it says in Isaiah 33 and verse 6, they weren't given a lot knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So they're not stable. The only ones who are stable are going to be the remnant, the elect. But that's pretty much the point. I pray that this was edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who all in this truth from and who do well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Unto you I say shalom.